Wisdom, the final frontier to true knowledge. Welcome to Wisdom Trek, where our mission is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. Hello, my friend. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your captain on our journey to increase wisdom and create a living legacy. Thank you for joining us today as we explore wisdom on our second millennium podcast. This is day 1498 of our trek, and our focus on Friday is future technologies and societal advances. So we call it Futuristic Fridays. My personality is one that I've always been very future-oriented. Since my childhood, I have yearned for the exploration and discovery of new technologies and advancements for the future. I grew up on the original Star Trek series, and even today, as I'm on my 65th revolution around the sun, I still dream of traveling into space. Each week we'll explore rapidly converging technologies and advancements which will radically change our lives. At times these topics may sound like something out of a science fiction novel, but each area that we'll explore is already well on its way on becoming a reality over the next couple of decades. To keep with our theme of Ask Gramps, I will put our weekly topics in a form of a question to get us on track. This week's question is, Hey Gramps, last week you shared about the slowing of the aging process, but many people are getting sick and dying due to poor life choices. How can this be resolved? So today we're going to look at transforming sick care into well care. Last week we did explore how premature aging is actually a pandemic that could be prevented with new technologies. This week I want to focus on turning sick care into well care, and I'm using some of the information mentioned in Peter Diamandis' blog and his book, The Future is Faster Than You Think. U.S. healthcare industry is in for a significant disruption in the decade ahead. It is so broken that it is horrifying. As can be seen with the current global pandemic, we need to start focusing on our health, not just for caring for the sick. U.S. healthcare is spending a total of $3.6 trillion in 2019. During 2020, with the additional burden of COVID-19 and its related illnesses, last year's dollars spent will pale in comparison. Fear of liability prompts U.S. doctors to spend $210 billion per year on procedures that patients don't really need. Of every 5,000 new drugs introduced, 5 make it to human testing, and only 1 is ultimately approved. Yet even then, the average pharmaceutical product takes 12 years to get from lab to patient, costing upwards of $2.5 billion. While the rush to market for the COVID-19 vaccine will accelerate this somewhat, we have to ask, at what cost? There is hope on the horizon. A new generation of artificially intelligent-enabled, data-driven companies will transform what is today sick care into well care. Today we'll look at a new generation of diagnostics that will enable you to become the CEO of your own health. You are responsible for your own health. It is not the medical practitioner's responsibility. So let's explore how you can catch diseases at stage 0 before they become life-threatening. One way is through continuous do-it-yourself diagnostics. Let's look at one possible future scenario. On a wintry Wednesday in January 2026, you're being watched, carefully watched. Technically, you're actually asleep in your bed, but Google's Home Assistant knows your schedule. Thanks to your Aura Ring, it knows that you've just completed a REM cycle and are now entering stage 1 sleep, making it a perfect time for you to wake up. A gentle increase in the room's lighting simulates the sunrise, while optimized light wavelengths maximize wakefulness and improves your mood. Once you're fully awake, you ask, Hey Google, how's my health this morning? One moment, says the digital assistant. It takes about 30 seconds for full diagnostics to run, which is pretty good considering the system deploys dozens of sensors capturing gigabytes of data. Smart sensors in your toothbrush and toilet, wearables in bedding and clothing, implantables inside your body provide you with a mobile health suite with a 360-degree view of your system. Your microbiome looks perfect, Google tells you. Also, blood glucose levels are good, and your vitamin levels are fine. Google is actually already developing a full range of internal and external sensors that monitor everything from blood sugar to blood chemistry. And that's just one company, which is Google. The list of once million-dollar medical machines could fill a notebook. As with all technological breakthroughs, these machines with AI-driven software are being dematerialized, demonetized, democratized, and delocalized. They are being made into portable and even wearable sensors. Let's look at just a few examples of what is soon to be available to most of us. Ultrasound machines used to fill a small room, but now with Exo's AI-enabled cheap handheld ultrasound 3D imager, you will soon be able to track anything from wound healing to fetus growth from the comfort of your home. Another example comes from Google X's project leaders, Mary Lou Jepsons, and her startup company OpenWater, which uses red lasers holography to create a portable MRI, turning what used to be a multi-million-dollar machine into a wearable consumer electronic device. With the successful rollout, products like OpenWater could give 3/4 of the world access to medical imaging that they currently lack. Yet even simpler developments might even be more revolutionary. In less than 2 decades, wearables have gone from first-generation step-counting self-trackers to Apple's 6th-generation iWatch, including blood oxygen tracker, an FDA-approved ECG scanner capable of real-time cardiac monitoring, and a sleep monitor. Another example is Final Frontier's medical device, Dexter, a collection of easy-to-use, non-invasive medical sensors and diagnostic AI, all accessible via an app. Already, Dexter's reliability detects over 50 common ailments. In convergence, the developments point toward a future of always-on health monitoring and cheap, easy diagnostics. This shift's technical term is mobile health, a field predicted to explode into a $102 billion market by 2022. Step aside, WebMD. The idea here is to put your virtual doctor on demand and in your pocket. We've seen this even accelerate as a result of COVID-19 in 2020, and this trend is starting to explode. Riding the convergence of networks, sensors, and computing, AI-backed medical chatbots are now flooding the market. These apps can diagnose everything from a rash to retinopathy. And it's not just about physical ailments. Wobot is now taking on mental health, delivering cognitive behavior therapy via Facebook Messenger to patients suffering from depression. But what about proactive well care? So where are these trends headed? One example is a company called Human Longevity, which is a company Peter Diamandis co-founded in 2013. Its key authoring is The Health Nucleus, which is an annual 3-hour health scan consisting of whole genome sequencing, whole body MRI, heart and lung CT, echocardiogram, and a slew of clinical blood tests. Essentially, it's the most complete picture of your health currently available. This overall health picture is important for 2 reasons. The first is early disease detection. In 2018, Human Longevity published stats on its first 1,190 clients. 9% of these patients uncovered previously undetected coronary artery disease, which is the number 1 killer in the world. 2.5% of them found aneurysms, the number 2 killer in the world. And 2% saw tumors, and so forth. In total, a staggering 14.4% of the people tested had significant issues requiring immediate intervention, while 40% found conditions that needed long-term monitoring. And there's a second reason why this is important. Everything Human Longevity is measuring and tracking in their half-day annual visits will soon come to you on demand. Thanks to always-on, always-watching sensors, your smartphone combined with your smart wearables is about to become your doctor. But we need to move beyond this, from damage control to prevention. Skyrocketing AI capabilities, dematerializing sensors, and next-gen computing power are on the verge of embedding themselves into your wearable, your home, your future augmented reality devices, and one day even implantables. In success, today's era of lengthy, expensive, reactive sick care, mediated by an insurance middleman, is giving way to continuous, ultra-cheap, personalized, and proactive well care. Soon we will own our own technology doctors, not to mention we'll own our own health data. We will no longer have to correct our health after the fact. Instead, we will be minimizing risk 24/7 at extraordinarily low cost without even thinking about it. To change from sick care to well care will also radically change the insurance industry. The insurance companies will soon be covering the cost of well care and these new technologies, which will make it much less expensive for them. As Christ followers, we must do all we can to practice a lifestyle that promotes good health. The new technologies that are becoming available will make it even easier to do so. Maintaining good health is part of our testimony as God's temple on earth today. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 and 20. Don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives within you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you at a high price. You must honor God with your body. And that's a wrap for today's question. Join us again next Futuristic Friday as we look at another exciting exponential technology area on our Ask Gramps episode. Our next trek will be Meditation Monday, where we will help you to reflect on what is most important in life. So encourage your friends and family to join us and to come along with us on Monday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. If you'd like to listen to any of the past 1,497 daily treks or read the associated journals, they are all available at wisdom-trek.com. And I encourage you to subscribe to Wisdom Trek on your favorite podcast player so that each day will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you on Monday.